In this video, you'll see common toilet shutoff valve replacement mistakes and how to avoid them. Unfortunately, many homeowners install toilet shutoff valves incorrectly. This causes water leaks and can damage bathroom floors. Today, you'll learn how to avoid common mistakes and get a step-by-step plan that makes your toilet shutoff valve replacement easy and leak-free. The first big mistake homeowners make is not turning the water off to the house. This has to be turned completely off. If the valve doesn't turn at all, stop what you're doing and call a plumber. It's better to let them take over at this point. The next mistake folks make is not draining the water properly. I do this at the lowest point in the house. Typically, this is at the laundry tub. I turn the faucet on and let the water drain. This takes about 5 to 10 minutes. In addition, I turn the water on to the faucet in the bathroom where the toilet's located, and I let that water drain as well. I then place a container under the toilet valve, and I loosen the water supply line nut by turning it counterclockwise. Sometimes water will drain from the line, but there isn't really much. The next step is to remove the old valve. I grab the valve nut with channel lock pliers. Then I use a second set of pliers to turn the valve body counterclockwise. Now here's a common problem. On compression valves, the nut and ferrule typically won't come off the copper pipe. If this is the case, I use a Pasco compression sleeve puller for this step. The threaded end slides into the copper pipe and the U-shaped side goes behind the nut. As I twist the handle, it pulls the nut and the ferrule off the pipe. You can buy these tools on Amazon.com or sometimes local home stores will have them. The third mistake DIYers make is not prepping the pipe. I use emery cloth to clean the copper pipe and remove any paint. If the copper is damaged, like in this case, I remove a small section of that. Now this is important if you're using a SharkBite valve. I place the SharkBite removal tool on the pipe. Then I ensure I have at least 1 inch of pipe in front of that tool. And I use this AutoCut tool to quickly trim the copper pipe. I love that little tool for $20, $25. It's one of the best tools you can get for cutting copper pipes. I use a rigid tool to deburr the copper pipe, and this is really important if you're using a SharkBite valve that has a rubber gasket inside of it. Again, I use emery cloth to remove any small burrs on the surface of the pipe. And I get this question a lot. Do you need the plastic insert inside the SharkBite valve if you're just sliding it on the copper? You don't need this insert for copper pipe, but you also don't have to remove it. So you can just leave it inside the SharkBite valve. I place the escutcheon over the pipe and then I slide the SharkBite onto that pipe until it hits the 1 inch mark. You might have noticed that when I slid the SharkBite on, the escutcheon wasn't on there. And that's one of the benefits. If you forget to put the escutcheon on, it's not a big deal. You can just remove the SharkBite valve and do that. I then hand tighten the water supply line to the valve so that I don't cross thread it. And then I tighten it with a crescent wrench another quarter to half turn. It's important to not over tighten this, otherwise you could develop a leak. I've also used compression valves and valves specifically for PEX A or PEX B. For compression valves going over copper pipe, normally I do add a little bit of Megaloc to the threads of the nut, and this helps reduce the likelihood of leaks. But you don't necessarily need to do this if you install the compression valve properly. And for PEX A valves, it's important to expand the pipe as well as the fitting at least 5 to 6 times before you slide the valve into place. By the way, they do make special sleeves for the PEX A to help dress it up. The same thing applies if you're using a compression valve over copper. You can slide a chrome tube over the copper to dress it up a little bit more. No matter what valve I'm using, I always slowly turn the water on. That's another mistake that homeowners make. They turn the water on full blast. And I check for leaks both at the toilet shutoff valve as well as the water supply line at the toilet fill valve. If you don't have any leaks, then you're good to go, and that's how you replace a toilet shutoff valve. I hope these tips help you out. Give the video a thumbs up if they did, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.